What is going on, YouTube? I am Germ here. Today we have so much stuff to go over. Yesterday we got the news that Misfits is officially going to be selling their LEC slot. They are selling it to Team Heretics, and that's a huge story. That's huge news in its own right. Obviously, I think we did a pretty good job of covering that, but there will definitely be more to talk about going forward in the future. And now we have what's next. What's going on? What happens from here? Are more changes coming to the LEC, LCS? What about Koi? What about K-Corp? What about all these other different teams, players, expansion, all that stuff? The floodgates opened yesterday, and now so much news and so much rumors and so much speculation is coming out. We're going to be talking about all of that. But first, a word from today's sponsor, which is, of course, PrizePicks. This is the easiest and fastest way to play daily fantasy sports. All you have to do, pick over or under on player props, and you'll have a chance to win up to 10x your cash. You can play now on their website, prizepicks.com. You can get it in the Apple App Store or the Google Play Store. They offer big payouts, 24/7 live support, and fast and secure withdrawals. Some of the picks that I'm looking at for today are Summit. I'm taking him over 4.5 kills in the first two matches against BLG. And then I'm taking the flip side of that matchup as well. Bin under 4.5 kills in the first two matches against FPX. Obviously, if I think one top laner is going to do well, I'm probably going to take the other one to do not so well. But if you guys want to go make some picks of your own, check out the first link in the description below, where if you get signed up, PrizePicks is going to match your first deposit up to $100. That is an awesome, awesome deal. So thank you so much to them. Hopefully you guys check them out. With that being said, let's get right into this. So, on Twitter and all over the place, I've been trying to gather everyone's thoughts. You have Eros, you have Alejandro, you have Wooloo, you have a bunch of content creators, you have everyone who's tweeting out and writing articles and making videos and streaming and doing all this different stuff. So here's the latest. We had this from Alejandro in his article. He writes about how he believes Heretics is a team buying the LEC slot. We have since gotten confirmation from Misfits, from Heretics and the LEC that yes, Heretics is buying the slot. Yes, Misfits has sold. So Misfits is out, Heretics is in. That gets us back to 10 teams, obviously. But Alejandro does still believe that K-Corp, Koi, and Giants Gaming, maybe more teams, but at least those three, are still trying to find a way into the LEC. Now, I said, hey, this could mean buying another team slot, because we know there are definitely other teams out there that could maybe be looking to sell. Could that be SK? Could that be Astralis? Could it maybe be another team that is flying under the radar a little bit? I'm not sure. But there are still other ways for them to get in. And then again, expansion has been talked about and talked about and talked about. But what I'm the most excited about from all of this is super interesting, super exciting. K-Corp fans are going to be happy to hear that. Koi fans are going to be happy to hear that. Giants fans, everybody. And what I think is also exciting is that, hey, offseason in July, the floodgates open. Now that one team has sold, there is so much pressure on the other teams. One, they set the market price. Now we know about what an LEC slot can go for or will go for. 40 between 35 and 40 million is still around the price. Crazy price, but still the price. I mean, not necessarily like insane price, but like a lot of money. A lot of money. We also know that, hey, now that one team has sold, that's one less slot that's available. And we know that BDS just bought their slot last year. So that's even one less slot that's available. So all these teams that want to get in the LEC, now the pressure's on. Now things are heating up. And we have teams that are starting to get eliminated from playoffs. We have playoffs coming up soon. Teams and orgs are having to start thinking towards 2023, which also means players are going to have to start thinking towards 2023. We are really getting off-season in July. And I remember last year, like we were talking about off-season stuff in September, and people were like, oh, shut up, it's September, you guys are idiots, calm down. Like, hey, now it's July. We still have all of August, and then September. We're already talking about stuff, and I'm so excited. It's going to be so much fun. The final, 5 months of the year. It's going to be hype. It's going to be exciting. Again, spicy things for the offseason are already starting right now. One interesting update we did get is that Ibai came out, the owner of Koi, or the founder of Koi or whatever. He actually said on Twitter, he replied to the LEC commissioner, and he said, hey, we never spoke with Misfits. He says, I've never spoken with Misfits in my life, but it was in response to, buying the LEC slot and that stuff. So he says that he has never spoken with Misfits about buying their LEC slot. Like I said here, that does not mean that they're not looking to get into the league, but it's at least something to make note of. They didn't talk to Misfits. They didn't try to buy their slot. Does that mean that they're not trying to buy an LEC slot at all? Does that mean they are maybe closer to getting a different slot and they're in talks with some other team? Does that mean they're not looking at the LEC at all right now? Do they know the price tag's too high? They don't want to spend that much. They don't have that much to spend. I don't know, but it's at least interesting that Ibai came out and said, yeah, I've never spoken to Misfits in my life, So they weren't in these negotiations. Misfits was talking to a couple different teams. Eero said that Misfits was talking to at least Heretics and K-Corp. He didn't say anything about Koi, but obviously people have been throwing around Koi, and I believe Alejandro threw out the name Koi as well. Not that they were talking to Misfits, but that they're still trying to get into the LEC. Who knows? This is another popular team that a lot of people would like to see, but I appreciate Ibai, giving us that piece of information. We also had this from Yamato Cannon, whatever. People always say I say it wrong. People get mad. Yamato Cannon. He says, this isn't the end of rebranding or selling of orgs in the LEC LCS. It has just begun. And that is very, very spicy. Because not only does he say that more is coming in the LEC, he also throws the LCS in there as well. And I have definitely been hearing some things about at least one, if not multiple LCS teams that are at least looking into selling their slots and may not be returning for the 2023 season. Like I said, we have more teams in the LEC that may want to leave and more teams that want to get in. In the LCS, same thing. More teams that want to leave, more teams that want to get in, especially when you start seeing that these slots have 30, 35, 40, $45 million price tags. Not everyone thinks the future of esports is so great. Everyone knows, stuff's expensive. We're going into economic downturn globally. Who knows what the next couple of years are going to be like? And if you could get 30, 35, 40, $45 million of cold hard cash, maybe some more people are going to start chalking that up. And the fact that Yamato, head coach of Fnatic, no reason to chime in on this situation whatsoever at all. That's what I said. I replied to this and I was like, Wooloo Cannon. Like, why is Yamato talking about this? But again, I appreciate that he is saying stuff. He is hearing that there's more changes coming to the LEC and LCS. And again, if you are somebody that wants to see a Sentinels, a FaZe, an Optic, a Beast Gaming in the LCS, a Koi, a K-Corp, a Giants, whoever in the LEC, this is great news for you because this means, hey, just because one team sold, that does not mean we're done yet. There is still plenty more opportunity. And not only is there more opportunity, he thinks that more is coming. So that's interesting. We also had this from Kadril. This is a very, very big point. Kadril says, okay, but LEC 12 teams win. And this is very interesting because a lot of people are saying, hey, we have some good teams that want to get in and the slots are expensive and maybe teams don't want to sell. So why not just expand it to 12 teams? If we have 10 teams that are good and the league's working, why not just open up a slot for K-Corp? Why not open up a slot for Koi? And I don't know why the reason that they won't. I will say one reason that they might not is that if you have 10 teams, you got to split. It's like a franchise. They have revenue sharing. So if you have 10 teams, the money from franchising gets split up 10 ways. Now, if you have 12 teams, the money from franchising gets split up 12 ways. Now, you could argue, hey, if you have K-Corp and Koi, you're going to be making more money. So even though you're splitting it up 12 ways, you still might be ending up with more money. Now, you might be ending up with more money. You might not be. I'm not exactly sure how all the financials work out. I don't know how it looks behind the scenes. But there is some teams that if they think that the LEC is going to grow into the future, even if we don't get K-Corp or Koi, maybe they want to have a bigger slice of the pie today or in the future. So some teams don't want to split the revenue. Maybe there's other reasons why the LEC doesn't want to expand as well. But Kadro was saying, hey, why don't we expand the league? And then this is Maximilian Peterschmidt, head of esports for League of Legends in Europe, former LEC commissioner. And he said, after we implement best of threes, which some people are like, oh my God, does this mean the LEC is implementing best of threes? No, this means that the LEC is not expanding to 12 teams and has no plans to expand to 12 teams anytime soon, at least in my opinion. That is my interpretation of this. Because again, some people are like, oh, the LEC already had best of threes before. No, the LEC or the EU LCS or whatever, they had best of twos. They've never had best of threes. The LCS did best of threes. The EU LCS did best of twos. So best of threes has never really even been on the LEC or the EU LCS or whatever you want to call it. It's never really been on their radar. They tried it. They didn't like it for whatever reason. It didn't stick for whatever reason. I don't think they're going back to it anytime soon. So this does mean that for whatever reason, if we take this tweet as being serious, which I do, it means that we're not getting expansion. So if K-Corp, if Koi, if Giants, whoever wants to find a way in the LEC, it's going to have to be from buying one of these slots. Now, obviously, that makes it significantly harder and probably more expensive to get in. But now at least we know that, hey, there's not expansion. So don't hold your breath for expansion. Here is, the announcement from the LEC. Heretics is set to acquire the Misfits slot. We also have Heretics putting out, hey, we're coming to the LEC in 2023. I'm going to drop a follow on them. They have 1 million followers on Twitter. Kind of interesting. It sounds like they have some money as well. And then this same guy, the head of esports, he tweeted out this, this picture of K-Corp, Koi. And I don't know who this Knights logo is. I don't know if I don't think it's Giants. I'm not exactly sure who it is. But he tweets out this meme of like, yeah, K-Corp, Koi, some other team trying to get into the LEC, and then Heretics kind of stealing the slot away. So again, he is saying that, yeah, there's probably some other teams trying to get in. Who knows what's going to happen, but there were some K-Corp fans that got mad replying to this. He does say, it's just a meme. He's just joking around. It's just funny. He was just using the teams that have been rumored. But yeah, big, crazy changes that are already happening in the LEC, and more changes, more big stuff probably on the way. And it's probably going to happen soon, because to be ready for the 2023 season, you need something to happen within the next couple of months. You can't have it happen in January or December, or even November. You got to get something done in August, September, October to sign players, get the infrastructure, get the staff, everything. Otherwise, you're not even going to have a chance in 2023. So stuff needs to happen soon. Stuff's going to be happening soon. And this offseason, people are already saying, there's so many people out there saying that this offseason, 2023 offseason, is going to be potentially, probably, the most insane offseason we've ever had in the history of League of Legends. And we've had a bunch of crazy ones. Think back. Every year, it seems like it gets crazier and crazier. People are saying this might be the craziest one ever. That gets me so excited, because I'm going to be here. I'm going to be covering it all. I'm going to be talking about it all with you guys. So if you are hyped up, if you are excited for this potentially craziest offseason ever, and if you want to be along for the ride, definitely make sure you stay tuned. But that's pretty much it for this video today, guys. Let me drop a like if you did enjoy. I would appreciate that so much. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you guys think about any of this. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts and opinions. Subscribe to stay up to date on my latest content. Consider checking out PrizePicks, first link in the description below. Consider checking out my Discord, second link in the description below. Hopefully catch you guys in the next one. But until then, peace.